Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining our BizChat today via Zoom. We have a few different representatives on the call with us today. We have Isis Torres and Resleen Carr with Nasdaq on the call. They're going to be talking about the statewide Intermatch Nasdaq opportunity for our students. And then I also have Elise Campbell, who is the Regional Director for Business and Entrepreneurial projects, and then she also is hosted at the San Joaquin Delta College. And then I also have Miguel Reyes on the call with Quesadilla Gorilla. He is the owner of that company. So we're going to be hearing from all of these different representatives today. To get us started, we're going to hear about the Nasdaq Internmatch Program. So Isis and Resleen, you guys can have the floor. A quick introduction would be great.
Sounds great. Thank you. My name is Isis Torres. I'm the program coordinator here at the Nasdaq Entrepreneur Center. For those of you who don't know what the Nasdaq Entrepreneur Center is, we are a nonprofit organization located in the heart of San Francisco. Our whole mission this year is to democratize entrepreneurship. And we really feel that we can do this in a series of ways through some of the workshops that we host, some of the events that we put on, as well as some of the programs similar to the Internmatch program that we're running. We really strive to deliver world-class resources and mentoring to enable all and every entrepreneur across the globe to realize their maximum potential. And something that we're really proud of is over the course of 4 years, we've launched over 600 programs, and of that 16,000 founders, 49 have been female and 60% minority. And of course, we are a nonprofit organization, so a lot of the work that we get to do is due to our sponsors, such as NASDAQ, KPMG, Lehigh University, Bank of the West, Wilson Sonsini, Goodrich Rosati, who again really believe in our mission and are truly invested in the next generation of entrepreneurs like yourself. And Resleen, I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself here.
Okay. Hi, my name is Resleen Carr, and I'm interning for NASDAQ Entrepreneurial Center right now. And otherwise, I currently attend San Joaquin Delta College.
Thank you. So my first question that I have for you guys are, what are a few of the different startups that students can work with or intern with through this Intermatch program?
Great. Resleen, did you want to go ahead, and I can go ahead and piggyback off some of the comments you make?
Yeah, sure. So I'll just name a lot of the different startups. There's Ends and Stem, Go Get 'em Tiger, String, Medina's Health, The Grand, Moku Foods, Your Skincare, Atrium. Do you want me to name all of them? Or?
Just a few, and even some general areas about maybe what they're looking for in an intern.
Okay, so yeah, they cover a lot of different fields, like let's say accounting, business development, data analysis. So you're getting a lot of different types of fields into this. So there's customer development, data collection, finance, blog management, operations, product and market research, product development, product design, and then social media marketing, sales, and then executive assistant, and then market research and growth, and so on.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for sharing that. And what are some of the different projects or tasks that students can expect to do through these different internships?
Yeah, so
I can go on here too, Resleen. And so they have some different projects that they'll be working on, like research and writing blog posts, thinking about marketing strategies, and really helping build the sales pipeline. The way that we've vetted the startup companies is that they understand the talent is coming from community colleges. And so what we do in evaluating the applications is we look to the applications, really develop an understanding of the skill sets that the students are bringing to the table, and work with the startup companies with scoping a project that really fits those qualities and skill sets that the student is bringing. So a variety, these startup companies, one, ideally have an idea of what project they want the students to work on. But again, definitely these project scopes change along the way once the students matched with them. So some of the projects that they identify in the beginning of the program will definitely be dependent on which students they're matched with.
Okay. Okay. So and you guys match the students then when they complete the application process?
Correct. Yep.
And are these internships paid or unpaid internships?
Yeah, so a lot of them are unpaid internship opportunities, but for school credit. So we encourage the students to enroll in work experience credit at the college. And then additionally, we do have a limited amount of startup companies who've agreed to pay a stipend. So whether it's a stipend to pay for the unit of credit that they would like to achieve, they go about it a little bit of different ways throughout the different startup companies.
Okay. And do students select what they're wanting to do, whether it's through with school credit or paid during the application process, or how would that be distinguished?
Yep, correct. They identify that through the application process. There's 3 different options. There's one for pay, for experience, and then they can identify if they're only interested in one getting a paid internship or credit internship. So they can either identify that they're interested in both or just one of the options.
Okay. And to make sure that I understand, I'm going to share a screen right now of the Intermatch website. Is this website the way that students would apply by clicking on this apply button?
Correct. Yep.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to copy the web link into the video, the Zoom chat, for any students who might be on the call interested in applying. So there's the link to that website that you can apply for this Intermatch opportunity. So my next question then is, are these internship opportunities only for business students, or are they for any student that we might have in the community college system?
Yeah, go ahead, Redsley.
Okay, yeah, so no, they're not just for business students. We have some students that are interested in more of the marketing side, or some that are going into medical. And so we really just try to see what they're bringing to, what skill sets they're bringing, along with what industries they may be interested in, so we can match them up with the right companies.
Okay, okay, sounds good. And the student will express that then what their interests are, their major in the application.
Correct.
Yes.
Yep.
Perfect. And then can students complete these internships remotely, or are they only in-person internships?
So
all of them are actually remotely. Yep.
Okay, perfect. And then they'll be working with the business then remotely on a one-on-one basis once they get placed.
Correct. And so what we've designed into the program is that in addition with meeting with our founders, we've scoped out mandatory sessions that students will also attend with us. And so there are about 5 sessions throughout the 12 weeks that they are in the program. And these sessions are really designed to help the student feel more confident in their role and share things with us that they're not necessarily comfortable sharing with their founders. And so these can be challenges with whether it's setting up a meeting with their founder, challenges with one of the projects that they're working on, or any of the hurdles that they run into along the program. And so we make sure that the students are feeling confident in their role. We also design a peer learning platform, which is through Slack. So through Slack, we invite all of the interns who are accepted into the program to one channel. And it's an opportunity for them to kind of lean on each other a little bit, talk through some of their experiences and share what they're working on with each other. And just share, some day-to-day advice with each other. And so there's also that peer learning platform. And then additionally, they will set up a cadence to meet with their founder, whether it's bi-weekly or weekly, depending on their role in the program.
Okay, so then basically students will form relationships with Nasdaq reps as well as the startup companies?
Correct.
Okay, sounds great, that's great. And then what are the different steps in the application process?
Yeah, of course. Rosaline was actually just working on this.
Okay, yes. So in the beginning, they're just going to fill out the application itself that's on WebLink, and we really want them to just be very descriptive on their answers, because that's where we're finding out, what skill sets are you bringing into this program? What are you interested in? Just how do you think? How do you tackle problems? And then along with that, we recommend them to prepare a resume and then a letter of recommendation, and then include a nomination form from their professors. And that's it really.
Okay, and so if students are in the process of building their skill set, they can state that they're wanting to learn these skills in their application, and that can help you place them accordingly.
Yes, yes.
Absolutely. Really what we're looking in their applications is, one, to show that, there's depth in their responses, that they're really using, whether it's past work experiences or just past life experiences, and really adapting it and showcasing it in a way where, one, they're demonstrating a willingness to learn, showing flexibility in their work, and really just, motivated and develop and have this idea of a growth mindset, and are willing to really ask for help and support. And so those are the students that we're looking for. We're not definitely looking for students to have a lot of work experience in their past. I think it can definitely be beneficial, but we also have designed this program so that we can outreach students who've never had an opportunity before.
Sounds good. That's great. For any students who are on the call, if you're interested or have any questions for anyone that's on the call, feel free to, you can type into the group chat, or you can also unmute yourself, and you're free to ask questions at any point during the Zoom BizChat, okay? Okay, so my next question for you guys regarding the Intermatch Nasdaq State project: once a student completes the application process, how long does it typically take for them to get placed with a startup?
Yeah, so the timeline that we're working on now is that applications are actually going to be closed around second week of April. So April 13th is the timeline that we're working against. After that, what we'll do on our end is we'll reach out to the student and start conducting interviews if they've been accepted to the second round. And we'll be doing interviews April 13th to the 17th. And so throughout that week, what I'll be doing is reaching out to the student either via email, or if they've listed their phone number there and I've specified that it's better to call them than email them, what I'll do is schedule a time to interview them. And what we do is we go through a list of questions to just learn a little bit more about them, why they're interested in the opportunity. And this really helps us learn more about their personality and see if there's a startup company that really could help advance their career and give them an opportunity for those qualities to really shine. And then, sorry.
No, you're fine. That's great.
And then after the interview process, what we do is, so we typically will get all of those interviews done within the week, depending on how many applications, of course, we receive. And then we send out acceptance letters April 21st. And so that's the acceptance letter will tell them if they've been accepted into the program and the next steps. So it will send through the mandatory session dates to make sure everyone's available, the onboarding date and the offboarding date. And then students will also be notified of their match come May 6th. So by May 6th, they'll know which startup company they'll be interning for and the project scope that the company has aligned at the beginning of the program. But again, of course, that can change based on the match.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. Thank you. And then, is there anything else that you'd like our students to know about this opportunity that I haven't asked?
Yeah, Rosaline, did you want anything to add there?
Not really much. Just that this is an opportunity that is really working to just build you as a person, build your skill sets. So they're not looking for any specific requirements, and they really work with you to just build your skill sets, learn, have experience. And so I that's personally what I'm getting out of this experience as well. So I really wanted to share that.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Rosaline's actually, so she was one of the first interns accepted into the program. She's interning again here at the Nasdaq Entrepreneur Center. And, upon seeing her application, we definitely saw that there was this willingness and drive to learn. And she, was very, very good about, following up with emails and just making sure she was staying on top of all the deadlines that we were providing. And I think, just my personal experience with working with Rosalie and her confidence level for the beginning of the program to where it's at now has really just boomed. And I think that, not to speak for you, Rosalie, but I really think that you've been growing into this role. And I think, she's demonstrates what I want this experience to look like for all the students who are participating, and just, exposure to this different remote world that, everyone's actually really going through. And so I think it's an opportunity to kind of get ahead of that curve.
That's great. Thank you. Well, for any students who are interested in applying for this opportunity, the link for the website is in the chat box. And there is going to be an informational webinar that's held on March 26th, which is in a few days, and it's at 10 o'clock. And that information, that link to join that webinar is on the website as well. So it's just below the application button if you want to join in that webinar. Okay. Okay, thank you, Isis and Rosaline. Yes.
Thank you.
I was going to say in the chat box here, what I can also do, I can send you through the additional sessions that we'll have past that March date so that you have them for the April.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Sure.
And I'll be sure to share those out with other students and faculty as well, so they're aware of other future webinars.
Perfect.
Okay.
So then I will go ahead and mute Isis and Rosaline, and then Elise Campbell, I'm going to unmute you. Oh, it looks like you're already unmuted. So I have a few questions for you, Elise, regarding the regional project for Intermatch. Do you want to give a quick introduction about yourself for any students who are on the call?
Sure, thank you. And thank you so much for hosting this session. It's amazing information for the students. My name is Elise Campbell, and I'm the Regional Director of Employer Engagement for Business and Entrepreneurship. I'm hosted at Delta College, but my position is regional, and I work with 14 community colleges, including West Hills Lemoore in the Central Valley and Mother Lode region. So my job is really to be that conduit with the business community and the community colleges, and really be able to engage the employers. And so this project that we started several months ago in planning, we had two projects kind of going on at the same time, a statewide initiative and a regional initiative to offer these internships. So we had 30 from the state, of which 10 of the 30 were from our region, and an additional 30 internships, so 40 from the Central Valley. So we originally had 2 to 3 per college, but we're really opening it up. We don't want to have students not apply because of that. So anybody interested, please apply. We're really going to work on this as first come, first serve. And I think, you know, just kind of reflecting when we started this project and work with faculty and all the career services teams at the schools, you know, it really was more of a new concept to offer remote internships for students. And now how our world has changed the last 2 weeks, I think this is even more of an amazing opportunity for all the students that want to participate, because it's really going to immerse them. We used to think it's going to be immersing you in the future of your work, but it's really immersing in everybody's workplace now. So you'll be able to firsthand be a part of what it's like to work remotely and learn new applications, learn new software, use tools like Zoom or GoToMeeting. And I mean, just look at Rosaline as an example. I was watching her on the video and I'm like, wow, that student really has confidence. She's really talking about giving some information about how it helped build her skill sets, and she didn't have as much business background, and you wouldn't know it from listening to her. And every time we work with employers, and I myself on advisory committees or working directly with employees, they are really looking for students to connect with them for jobs and internships, that they're looking at these soft skills or the entrepreneurial mindsets. So it's really like my colleagues were saying, is they want you to be able to communicate both orally and verbally and be a problem solver. So going through this application is your first homework assignment, really. So go through the application process, go first and sign up for an information webinar, which is on that website. And then they'll give you guidance on following the application link, and pay attention to the instructions and follow through. So that's really important to businesses, is that follow through and the whole interview process. And this will not only help you in getting your internship, but could lead to a job with one of these companies, or just when you are looking to join the workforce full time, the experience on going through this interview process and learning how important it is on follow-up. I'm really excited for this and hope that so many of you students today will check out the website and join one of the information sessions.
Yes, and that the information on the future informational sessions is going to be sent out to students. So any students on the call, you can expect that information to be sent to your West Hills email. And I also will be sending that information out to faculty. So if you have any questions on those, you can ask your faculty member as well. Or you can reach out to the WIN Center at 559-925-3388, and we can answer any questions on this opportunity as well. Okay, thank you, Elise. I appreciate that as well. I'm going to head on to interviewing Miguel regarding Quesadilla Gorilla. Thank you so much. Is there any last little bits of information you'd like our students to know regarding your involvement with the regional aspect of this project?
I just want to mention one other thing. We've talked a little bit about and mentioned the work experience. So this is just a perfect opportunity. I mean, part of being a startup business or an entrepreneur is to be flexible. And so these startup businesses and working through Isis and her team, if you need to get work experience credit, we know that if it's an unpaid opportunity, you need a minimum of 60 hours. And originally the internships were set up for up to 40, but the startups are more than willing, and the Nasdaq Center team, to work with you to make sure that you can get the 60 hours and get the credit. That's a priority for them, because they understand that your commitment, but they also want to be able to help you get credit for your class. Perfect.
Thank you, Elise, for sharing that information. That's going to be very helpful for any of our students who are in the work experience class.
Thank you.
Okay, Miguel, I'm going to unmute you. Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, thank you so much for being on the call. I know you're kind of hanging out there for a few minutes. I just appreciate your patience.
Yeah, of course.
On that. So Miguel, why don't you do a quick introduction for any students who are interested in what role you have in regards to entrepreneurship here in the Central Valley area?
Yeah, so my name is Miguel Reyes. I am the CEO and founder of Quesadilla Gorilla. We started in 2013 and just been making quesadillas ever since.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. So my first question for you is, when did you know you wanted to become an entrepreneur?
It's kind of weird because growing up, I've always knew that I wanted to own a restaurant. Like, I was always in the kitchen, helping my mom stir food, try food. I was never really like in the living room with my brothers playing video games. So early on, I knew that I wanted to own my own restaurant. But yeah.
Okay. And when did you decide you first wanted to start Quesadilla Gorilla? And is it Quesadilla Gorilla or is it Quesadilla Gorilla? I have always wondered that.
I say Quesadilla Gorilla.
Okay, sounds good. I want to make sure I'm saying it correctly.
Yeah, so my boss was actually, he had a small pizza by the slice restaurant where where our original location is. And I was the kitchen manager at one of his restaurants, and he was like, hey, I'm selling this restaurant if you want it. And I was like, I pretty much run this shop. Like, I think I can run my own as well. So that was back in early 2013, and then like within 2 months, we opened Quesadilla Gorilla instead. So
okay, so you transitioned then from pizza to quesadillas then?
Yeah, we were originally going to run it as is. It was ran by employees, and so we thought, if there's an owner, maybe that's what it needs for it to kind of succeed. Plus, not taking a paycheck as well, so we were able to kind of prolong staying alive a little bit longer. But we decided, like one day I was like going to sleep, and I was like, oh, we should do quesadillas instead. And so the next day we like changed it to quesadillas instead of pizza.
Okay. And then what are some of the biggest obstacles you've had to overcome in establishing and maintaining a successful small business?
So biggest obstacles, early on was we started with partners. So we actually, it was me and my best friend at the time, and his dad was our boss. And so his dad was the restaurant owner and my boss. And so with right away, the son wasn't showing up to work, and it got to the point where it's just like, hey, like, I'm not going to do this by myself anymore. We either buy your son out or we close down shop. And so within like 4 months of opening, me and the dad ended up buying out his son. And that's when my wife now, but girlfriend at the time, had bought into the company. So that was a big obstacle. And then shortly after that, within that same year, the dad had emptied out the bank account and decided he wanted out. So that was just like, I remember I was at Costco and trying to pay for our groceries, and the card got declined. And
Oh man.
so that was definitely a tough obstacle. So, and then also just kind of what's going on right now with the virus. I mean, we're hoping there's light at the end of the tunnel, but it's pretty crazy right now. So.
Yeah, definitely. So my next question is, when looking at all aspects of being an entrepreneur, what takes up the most of your time? Such as, is it HR? Is it finances, marketing, customer service?
Yeah. So early on, I mean, like when you first start, I mean, we did everything. We did social media. I was there. I was the opener. I was the closer. Did payroll. Did everything. To now where we have a little bit more of a team. So I'm still pretty heavily involved with like the finances, just kind of watching our numbers on a weekly basis, inputting payroll. Any like marketing ideas that I come up with, I'll just pass them off to our marketing director. But for the most part, she's running her own gig there, and so we just have really, really solid people in place. But I would say a lot of my time now is spent on just kind of like culture. For us is a really big component of our business. So I mean, we've all been in those jobs where it's like, you just come in, you collect a check, and then you leave. So we're really trying to create a culture where it's like, okay, outside life might suck, but I can come into work and have like a really good shift and work for a really cool company. So constantly thinking of ways of how to improve that, whether that's, like we just started doing paid time off for managers and everyone in the company. We're looking into health benefits, and so just like things like that. We read books as like a management team together. So we're reading a book right now, and then lately, just really focusing on like the future growth. Again, after this whole thing with the virus slows down, that might come to a pause. But prior to this, it was just like, okay, like what do we need to open a third store, a fourth store, fifth store, and so a lot of my time is just kind of figuring out what we need to do to get there.
Okay. And then what previous positions or professional experiences have helped you the most in becoming a successful business owner?
I think just all the jobs that I had. I started working. I mean, I remember like selling like mistletoe when I was a kid for Christmas money, or I would help my grandpa, clean up houses because he used to do stucco work. So just kind of like all those like little jobs was, I got my first like real job when I was like 15. And so like being in those jobs and like being on like the bottom level of like a company and like seeing it and experiencing that, I think has really, again, like shaped the way I look at our company, and again, like how we can shape our culture. And it's like, just kind of be the example that we want to be. You know, it's like, yes, we get you have to mop and you have to clean, but you know, you're appreciated for that. You know, it's not a little thing. So
yeah, definitely. And then what is something that would surprise people about your day to day?
My I think probably the biggest thing for me is self-care. So I do a lot of just kind of reading, but as well as just working out. So I usually start my day with like a CrossFit workout at like 5:30 in the morning, or at some point in the day, if I can't go in the morning, then I'll make it a point to go every single day. So
okay, self-care is important. So that's great for you for taking the time to know what you need in order to support your team.
Yeah.
So good. What is one thing you wish someone would have told you before starting your company?
I think just you're not alone in it. I mean, I think we all too often are just kind of like, no one understands, you know, what's kind of going on. So I think just reaching out to people, whether they have a business or not, like I think you need like that support group to like help you get through like the ups and downs, and then also not to like take it too serious. I think for the first like 5 years of Gorilla, it was like my identity was Gorilla, and so I think kind of that 5th year was just like, okay, like Gorilla isn't who I am, but it's just what I do. So
okay. And then what are some of the biggest rewards in being an entrepreneur?
Choosing my own hours for sure. I mean, sometimes that means I'm working double the hours. But for the most part, if I need to get home to my family, then I can, and, you know, move schedules around, or, you know, like I was actually supposed to be in the shop today and I was like, oh shoot, forgot about the webinar. So, you know, move things around. So I was able to do that. Definitely tax write-offs. That's always a benefit. You know, our cars are paid through the company, and our cell phone bills. I mean, obviously we use it for the company too, but, and then I think the biggest thing is probably just creating something for people to enjoy. Like it's really cool to like see, like I genuinely love cooking, and it's like it's really cool to see people enjoy the food that comes out of our kitchens, and, you know, just create memories. You know, like we have one couple, their first date was at our restaurant, and then when he proposed, they came and celebrated it at our restaurant, and then now we're actually catering their wedding. So it's just really cool to like build those memories.
Yeah, that's great. Beyond a degree and or certificate, what additional training or knowledge would be valuable for someone wanting to start their own business?
So I would probably say YouTube, podcasts, books, reaching out to other people in your field. I mean, I think there's a lot of free resources. Like if you type in, you know, down to like, how do I create or how do I make a seller's permit, or, you know, how do I open up a business bank account? You know, what information do I need? Like you just type that like in Google or in YouTube. And so there's a lot of things like that, or, you know, listening to podcasts. I do a lot of podcasts and books. Just similar thing, you know, like if there's like a topic, like right now we're looking into profit sharing. And so I'm listening to a podcast about that.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, I don't think a lot of people realize how many free resources are out there. So I love that you brought that up right now. Thank you. And then my last question for you is, what advice would you give to our students who are interested in following in your footsteps?
I would say start small. I mean, we luckily our initial investment was pretty small at Gorilla, just because it was a really small space. Like we didn't take on a full on, you know, 50 person restaurant. We only have like 8 chairs in our restaurant. We don't even have that anymore. We just have outside seating. But start small, test the market, you know, if especially if you're like a food concept or, you know, a retail concept, like, you know, go to the farmers markets, try to get in there, you know, sell to your friends and family, figure out like why you want to have a business. I feel like a lot of what keeps me going is just that I do love what I do, you know, and I'm not in it just for a profit, but it's just something that I get to do. And yeah, don't be afraid to ask questions. You know, do your research. I mean, I think there's times where, you know, there are speakers or something in class and I like had questions and just was like afraid to ask questions. But now if it's like, if there's a question that pops up, I'm just going to ask it, even if it feels like it's a dumb question. Reading, huge resource. You know, I try to read at least 1 to 2 books a month, and not to like listen to negative people in your life. We told a few people, it's like, we're going to open a quesadilla shop. And it's like, well, that's stupid. And so, but now it works. You know, we have people approaching us wanting to franchise it, and we're like, no, like we don't want to go that route just yet. So, yeah. That's
great. Thank you. I appreciate that. So I just want to thank everyone for being on the call. I appreciate hearing about the Nasdaq opportunity, Intermatch, and also Miguel, I appreciate you sharing about being an entrepreneur here in the local valley and Quesadilla Gorilla. I will be sharing this out with students. So if any students have questions, you might hear from me in an email delivering those questions to you guys. But again, I appreciate you guys taking the time.
Yeah.
So, thank you so much. Okay, we'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.